Once again, I want to thank you all for being here. We have a pretty busy night tonight, so I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. President. Trustee Dattis.
Here.
Trustee Darrow.
Here.
Trustee Jacko. Trustee Velez.
Here.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Vice President Benemini.
Here.
And President Munoz.
Here.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of this board, except where specifically exempted by law, at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having same advertised in the Belleville Times. Also, notice of this meeting has been mailed to the members of the Board of Education, the Borough Clerk, all elementary schools, the middle school, the high school, Hornblower Early Childhood Center, and posted on the district website. Also, this meeting is being televised via the district's YouTube and Facebook pages.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. At this time, can I ask the Board of Ed trustees and Dr. Tomko to move to the front row of the auditorium? Guys, can you take a seat, please? Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. Good evening, everybody. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Matthew Palladino. I'm the Business Administrator for the Belleville Board of Ed. It's my distinct honor to be up here tonight. The district this evening has a very special presentation in honor of a certain individual, our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Tomko, who was recently named one of Education Week's 2023 Leaders to Learn From. Education Week chooses these individuals. It'll be fun going into work tomorrow. No? Can you hear me? No. Education Week chooses these individuals based on their persistence and creativity as they navigate the many difficult challenges that face schools in an increasingly diverse and rapid changing world. As those of you in attendance and watching via the district's social media platforms know, under our superintendent, Dr. Tomko, we are a very transparent and open institution. So to keep a secret of this magnitude, hush-hush was a Herculean effort by everyone involved. And on behalf of Mrs. Kelleher, I thank all of you involved, all the students, the principals, the administrators in the back, all of them, all the board trustees for your part in keeping tight-lipped for this occasion. Dr. Tomko came to Belleville about 8 years ago, came to a district in complete disarray and uncertainty. In those 8 years, this district has successfully navigated a global pandemic, a $48.5 million referendum, though the amount does change depending on Dr. Tomko's mood. The growth of preschool from 2018-2019 of 7.8% of our universe, the year prior to receiving PEA funds, to 96% universe, which was our goal heading into the 23-24 school year. I won't take any part in the next one. The financials of the district have done a complete 180, going from a $4.5 million deficit to reserves and surplus of $6.5 million in the black. The district, for those of you not aware, has opened an athletic training facility for our students in the community. And next year, heading into September 2023, under Dr. Tomko's leadership, we'll be expanding that area with a tutoring center, a professional development room, an esports arena, and an ELL welcome center. The district completely renovated Claremont Field into a focal point of the community. And on the horizon, for those of you not aware, the district will be expanding and completely renovating the footprint and the campus of the middle school. These are just a sampling of the improvements Belleville has made as a school district, rising from the ashes like a phoenix. Oh wait a minute, wrong district. Or better yet, a Buccaneer. And it's a damn good day to be a Buccaneer. I personally have had a front row seat working side by side with Rich Tomko these past 6+ years. What a ride it's been. We came together many years ago in a time of need for both of us. And today, not only do I consider him a mentor, but a friend. So, with the bowers bestowed upon me by the sensational Miss Diana Kelleher, it is my distinct honor and pleasure on behalf of the students, the administration, the faculty, and the Board of Education trustees to open this ceremony that recognizes Dr. Tomko as a leader to learn from.
Our Belleville Public Schools family celebrates Dr. Richard D. Tomko, our Chief School Administrator, for being named Education Week's 2023 Leader to Learn From. We, the students, parents, staff, administrators, and Board of Education trustees proudly acknowledge this honor, which recognizes Dr. Tomko for his leadership skills and excellence in district management. The title of this award poetically reflects our school system's working philosophy that Belleville is a place where learners are transformed into leaders. In honor of Dr. Tomko's recently earned award, we happily share a special version of this philosophy, which is Belleville Public Schools, where learners become leaders, leaders to learn from. Congratulations, Dr. Tomko.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations from our school core family, from me. I'm so proud. We are all so proud of you. This award, Leaders to Learn From, it's just amazing. And from our heart, from our children, from our staff, we love you. And thank you for everything that you do for not only school core family, but for the entire district. Congratulations. Yay, Dr. Tomko.
Hello, Dr. Tomko. On behalf of the administration and staff of the schools of behalf of the entire school community, we want to thank you for what you do for us on an everyday basis. We want to congratulate you on your award of being identified as a leader to learn from. Congratulations.
Dr. Tomko, those of us here at Belleville High School want to wish you congratulations on being a 2022-2023 leader to learn from. Congratulations.
Hi, Dr. Tomko. On behalf of the school family, we want to congratulate you on the Leaders to Learn From award. We are so proud of you and all that you do for us. Congratulations.
As you all saw, that video is a testament to the leadership of Dr. Tomko. Everybody in the district absolutely loves and adores him, and he set the bar high for all of us to follow. So first, could I ask our Belleville Public School student ambassadors to come to the podium?
Alex Cruz speaking. Honoring Dr. Richard D. Tomko, Superintendent of Belleville Public Schools, for being recognized by Education Week 2023 as a leader to learn from.
Hello, my name is Aaron Jacob Malampon. As the learners of Belleville Public Schools, we are inspired by your success and demonstration about education and leadership are entwined in our life's pursuit of knowledge. The students of Belleville Public Schools, June 2023. And to close it all off, I would like to say a quote from President John F. Kennedy. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. We now want to present the plaque to honor you.
You and your phone. Diana, you didn't get on post. Thank you to the students of Belleville Public Schools. Next, could I have Mr. Caleb Rhodes, Principal of Belleville High School, to make the next presentation with all the administrators.
Dr. Tomko, having had the opportunity and pleasure, honor, I don't know if there are enough words that can explain how great it's been to work with you for the last 20 years. And you hired me out of Montclair State as a social studies teacher at Elmwood Park. So I'm honored tonight to be able to present the administrator plaque to you tonight. So I'd like to read what it says. This is a plaque honoring Dr. Richard D. Tomko, Superintendent of Belleville Public Schools, for being recognized by Education Week 2023 as a leader to learn from. As your administrative team, we celebrate your success as a trailblazer in the world of education, respect your commitment to the teaching and learning process, and are inspired by your dedication to the noble cause of transforming learners into leaders. From the administrative team of Belleville Public Schools, June 2023. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
And then, last but not least, could I ask the Board of Ed trustees to come to the podium? President Munoz and Vice President Benamini will make our third presentation. So Dr. Tomko.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Tomko, I want to be the first to, well, maybe the third to congratulate you on this night. This has been something everyone's been looking forward to do for you. I know you're not comfortable in this kind of environment, but that goes to show the kind of person that you are. You know, one of my favorite analogies has always been you can be a leader that leads from the front, but turns his back on those he's leading, or you could be the kind of leader that is leading from behind, watching his whole flock succeed. And that's the kind of person that you are. You know, you're always the last one to get recognized. You always kind of stand behind, letting everybody else get the accolades and get the recognitions while you're just standing back watching. So we wanted to highlight you today. So here's your plaque. I'll be reading it. Dr. Tomko, Superintendent of Public School, for being recognized by Education Week 2023 as leaders to learn from. As members of the Belleville Board of Education, we proudly acknowledge your well-earned title as leader to learn from. This honor highlights your ability to be a skilled communicator, to cultivate a vision that becomes a working reality and leads to meaningful progress for our school district. The Belleville Board of Education Trustees, June 2023. Leadership is a way of thinking, a way of acting, and most importantly, a way of communicating. Come on up.
Superintendent makes a speech, can we take a group photo? Thank you very much. I don't know, usually, so I've been doing this now for about 25 years, and I honestly have to say that, and I think most of the people in this room, and I've known Mr. Bush for a very long time, probably longer than, well, he and Mr. Rhodes, probably the longest in this room, but this is the first time I really am speechless, because I like to talk usually, everybody knows that, but I really don't know what to say, so thank you very much. This was an incredible journey up to this point. Hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. I think, you know, growing up across the river, excuse me, when I was a young boy, I spent a lot of time in Belleville, and it always was and still is a remarkable place. You know, sometimes when we talk about school, we talk about education, we only tend to concentrate on numbers and money and things like that, but you know, what really is important, and what rests and lies in the community itself, and that's all of you, whether you're a parent or a student or an alumni or a future alumni or a board member, administrator, whomever you are who's here.
It really is a testament to this place how, you know, Mr. Palladino did say something that was really interesting about rising through the phoenix, or from the phoenix through the ashes. And I think if you go back several years ago, there was so much fighting, there was so much turmoil, the morale was horrible, and all of that affects the kids, and all that affects the community. And it's really about insulating yourselves with the pride in Belleville and what really makes Belleville Belleville. And I think one of the things that I do pretty well, and I usually don't pat myself on the back, is I listen. I listen to everyone. I don't agree with everyone, and you all absolutely don't agree with me all the time, but I think at the end of the day, all of us, whether you're, you know, a staff member here, a teacher, a board member, at the end of the day, we really do leave, whether we argue or not, with what's best for this community, and I think we all do a great job in doing that, and I'm really proud to stand up here in front of all of you tonight, and I want to thank everyone who made this possible, and all of you who are here, and for the past 25 years, and Ms. Bennett Meany knows this from different districts that she's seen me in, there's always one word that I always end with, and it's really important and in your entire lives, and especially you students as you go on to whether it's college or workforce, your life, your goals, you're moving forward, there's one thing you have to do, and that's remember that there's always progress, right? And that's what we do here is we continue to do progress. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm humbled
by this and in awe of all of you, so thank you very much. Thank you. I do promise that we will get some public speaking skills to Mr. Palladino because he really needs to know that. Thank you very much.
Try that again. I think we got it.
All right. That was great. So we're going to move on to the approval of minutes of May 15th. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dattis.
Yes.
Trustee Darrow.
Yes.
Trustee Velez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Vice President Benamini.
Yes.
President Munoz.
Yes. We're going to move on to Student Government Organization Representative, Ms. Jody Velez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jody Velez, and I am the Belleville Student Board Representative. In old news, Belleville High School hosted their annual senior prom at Nanina's in the Park on May 17th. Seniors dressed up and danced throughout the night, and it was a night to remember. Battle of the Classes, hosted by Belleville High School junior class, was on June 1st at the Belleville High School football field. Every grade competed through challenges and games to earn points to reign the title of the best class. All the students played competitively, showing their Belleville pride. On May 23rd, seniors had a senior barbecue where they were able to go on the field and eat their favorite foods. The barbecue consisted of burgers, hot dogs, pasta, and cold drinks, and more. And it was a day that all seniors enjoyed. And in new news, our seniors will be graduating this Friday on June 23rd. Graduation is at 11 o'clock a.m. at the Belleville High School football field. Parents and friends are welcome. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jody. Great job. We're going to move on to items presented by administration. Dr. Tomko.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you very much. So again, thank you very much for that recognition. It was incredible. But we do have some, more important individuals here tonight to be recognized, and that's our students. But first, I also want to recognize all the people in the trenches, the teachers, the administrators, support staff. It's been really an incredible year. I don't like using the word COVID anymore, really, but we're coming off that post-COVID learning loss. Where are we in the middle kind of thing? So the promise that we're making here is to really go full throttle. July 1st, you've seen there's some administrative changes. There's some additions on the last few agendas. RTI is up and running. We've revamped our math structure for some of the issues that we've seen there. We're adding some great electives, and I think it's important to understand that we hit these challenges head on, but we couldn't do it without all of the teachers, support staff, and the administrators, and all of you parents with all the help. So it really has been an incredible year. We just had our senior award ceremony a few weeks ago. It was a few weeks ago now. And again, some of our students are going to some incredible institutions. Some of them are headed to the workforce and the military. And it just, again, it is a testament to the community and how far we've come. So again, it's been a great 2022-23 school year. This will be the last time that we meet as a board for this school year. Our next meeting is at the end of July, and we're going to hopefully kick off with a bid proposal for what I believe is going to be the centerpiece of this township with a new middle school campus. So again, we're really excited about what happened and what lies ahead. So as I said before, progress. All right. So first, Mr. Munoz, why don't I turn it over to you for recognition? You can do it right here. Excuse me. This is the first time legislatively that boards had to incorporate student government organizations as part of board trustees, non-voting members of boards. We always had a student representative sit up here, but this is the first time that the legislature made it pretty clear that they wanted a liaison for the students with us every month. So, we had that process this year, and moving forward, it will continue. And that was our representative, Ms. Jody Velez. So, Mr. Muniz, if you'd like to make a presentation.
Yes, thank you very much. So, I'd like to speak a little bit on Jody. One of the biggest things that we as a board really wanted to emphasize is how important it is for you, our students here, to take roles of leadership, to get more involved with your school's policies, with your school in general, and to get involved with your community as decisions that are made really affect you and your futures as well. And I wanna thank Jody for the example that she set here, because she's been terrific. It's been great to work with her. She meets with Dr. Tomko on a monthly basis to discuss concepts and ideas from the very beginning. She came here and she just really owned the role and the position that she was put in. She knows how important it is, and she was determined to set an example, and I can't wait to see who fills her shoes moving forward. So we're going to present her tonight with a plaque, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. In appreciation of your service as Student Board President to the Belleville Board of Education, 2022-2023, presented to Jody Velez in recognition of inspiring and exemplary leadership and to the and to the exercise of wisdom and integrity in the performance of her duties representing the students of Belleville, June 19th, 2023.
Hello, everyone, again. First off, thank you to the Board of Education for presenting me with this plaque. I am truly blessed and extremely grateful to have worked alongside you during my senior year. And I sit here today as a woman who has learned not only a lot about our students, but has learned a lot about our town. I've learned tremendous things. I've learned communication skills. I've learned team building, leadership. I learned how to listen more, and I've learned that as we pass on this position and this title and this responsibility to the next person, is that I think that also as a student body, as staff, and just as a community of Belleville in general, that we should open our ears and we should listen, and we can contribute. We can, make change throughout our town, throughout our school, and that is the way that we are going to see progress. All of you sitting here today, you are making a change, and you are witnessing that progress when you sit here or when you watch the board meetings on the live stream. That is how we create change. And as I previously mentioned, as I pass on the responsibility of this position to the next person, I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Belleville. I've been here since forever. I went to school 3, I went to Belleville Middle School, and now I've been here at Belleville High School. And as I go to Drew University to study media and communications, I'm definitely going to miss the memories. I'm going to miss, the things that I have learned and gathered throughout my time at Belleville, but I will definitely carry those things with me. And I hope everyone here will carry the lessons that they have learned while being a student, whether it has been in this district or out of district. Everything that you have accomplished will be recognized. Everything that you have done will be seen, and everything that you want to accomplish will come true. And I sincerely hope that for every single person sitting here in this room. Once again, thank you to all of my teachers. Thank you to the Belleville High School SGO. Thank you for the people who have seen me grow throughout the years. I would not be the person I am today without all of you. So once again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Velez, and good luck. All right, so let's move forward now. We have recognition of the Ralph Lauren Academy of Engineering and Medical Sciences. Is that Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Lipo, Ms. Calhoun? Since we have the whole gamut of the team here, maybe, I don't know. So for those of you who maybe aren't aware, one of the things that the board charged me with back in 2015 was to bring one of the academies that I had designed with us here to start some kind of engineering track with medical sciences involved in it as well. Now we're several years in, and we recognize these individuals who went through the academy and hopefully continue in one of these fields. And they are presented with a cord tonight for graduation. So, Mr. Rhodes.
Good evening again, everyone. Tonight we have the opportunity to recognize the students who are graduating in the class of 2023 from our Ralph Lauren Academy of Medical Sciences and Engineering. The students who have been a part of this program for 4 years have had some really rich experiences, having opportunities to go do internships down at Clara Moss, working through some other experiences as they're part of the academy. And before we get a chance to recognize the students with the certificates, I do want to take a moment and recognize Mr. Aiello, who is one of the teachers of the academy and does a phenomenal job. And Dr. Alfano, who's hanging out in the back there, too. Up here with me are two people who have also had a very in-depth role in terms of the Academy over the last few years. Mr. Lipo, who was there with the inception of the Academy, and Ms. Calhoun, who has really taken the reins from Mr. Lipo and continued to move the program forward. So, Ms. Calhoun.
Welcome. Everyone's very tall today. All right, so we will begin by recognizing the students, and then we'll do a photo op and shake some hands. Mr. Rhodes, do you want to be here to hang out their certificates? Okay. Michaela Andrade. Brandon Doe. Alba Guerrera. Vivian Huang. Yusuf Ibrahim. Alexis Lingad. Alanis Maldonado. Kayla Moto. Miguel Pagador. Xingping Pan. Ivan Perez. Ivan is great at selling Belleville gear and raising funds. Anais Perez Fabian. Victor Pham. Jason Paveda. Bianca Reyes. Ariel Rodriguez. And that is the last of our 16 Academy students graduating this year.
Congratulations, excellent job. Thank you again. Now there's something. All right. Essex County, if you receive it in the mail, does poster contests for different topics, etc. Very important messages. We had several of our students nominated and receive awards or recognition for this, so I'd like to call up Mr. Sullivan to discuss the My Essex County poster contest recipients. Mr. Sullivan.
Hi, everybody. So this year, the students in Belleville were entered into the My Essex County poster contest. Each student was asked to create a poster about what the idea of Essex County meant to them. The contest was open to all the fourth grade students in the entire county, and there were more than 1,100 total entries. This year, Belleville had 3 students were selected out of 35 winners, and their posters will appear in the My Essex County 15-month calendar. The first student from School 7, Ariana Perozzo. Also from School 7, Sofia Guevara. And from School 10, Maya Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, poster contest recognition winners. Excellent job. I probably should have planned this a little better, but now let's have the high school come back up here for the Seal of Biliteracy. Sorry. Mr. Rhodes, come on back up. Seal of Biliteracy is a program that the Department of Education has had now for several years. Mr. Drosty, who was one of our administrators who retired a few years ago, and I kind of established this program here, and it's just grown to incredible numbers. The amount of work that these individual students have to do in order to be considered biliterate is incredible. It's not only, it has to be in their own home language, it could be other languages as well. So Mr. Lipo, I guess we're going to be presenting with their cord. How are you? And I'll hand it over to you.
I want to point out the cords, because I don't necessarily know if we did for the last round. The cords will be worn by all the graduating seniors around their necks. Those of you that are going to graduation on Friday, you'll see Mr. Rhodes and Dr. Tomko wearing a very hefty amount of cords. They'll be wearing all of the cords that the students could possibly get in their high school career. So if you look in the program at graduation on Friday, you'll see all the cords and their symbolism and what they mean. We're going to call up all of the students that earned the Seal of Biliteracy this year. As Dr. Tomko said, they had to not only be proficient in English, but also proficient in a second language. And the wonderful lady standing right behind me is Ms. Sandra Perez. She is one of our world language teachers. She also spearheaded all of the testing that was done this year. I'm going to give her a chance to speak in Spanish for some of our parents and families that are here that speak Spanish.
Buenas noches a todos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí para celebrar este momento tan especial. Los alumnos han trabajado tan duro para recibir este reconocimiento. Ser bilingüe es un regalo en la sociedad de hoy. Los estudiantes y sus padres deberían estar muy orgullosos.
All right. As I call your name, please come up, and then we're going to just start forming a line straight down. Michaela Andrade. Ivana Calbarar. Anthony Calle. Ashley Selly. Rebecca Riera. Leslie Contreras. Karen Cotto. Gabriela De La Torre. Clara Furman. Kiara Diaz Galasso. Martin Escobar Sisalami. Amelia Fabera. Jeff Escade. Adriana Galarza. Emily Gavita. Camilla Alexandra Juan. Evelyn Hernandez. Natalie LeBoy. Matias Lopez Barclay. Darwin Ordonez. Juan Orozco. Karen Paez Bolivar. Jason Penaloza. Nicholas Rios. Luisana Rivera Rodriguez. Juan Rojas. Kiara Sincere. Jasmine Vega. Vincent Vicuna. Noriel Zambrano Ortega. And Kanisha Ahila. Thank you all.
All right, next we have Mr. Rhodes back up here with Dr. Alfano, I believe. Doctor. For the Craftsmanship Avenues in Motion hydrogen-powered car race, we want to acknowledge some of those students. So, Dr. Alfano. You guys have been great. Hang in there. We're almost there. We have two more groups to recognize. And then I know everyone has to get studying, I understand. So. Doctor?
All right, so before we get going, I do want to take a couple of moments to recognize the efforts of Dr. Alfano to really bring our students opportunities that they wouldn't normally have otherwise. Since I've been here, Dr. Alfano's done an excellent job really getting our robotics program going, getting our students involved in different activities like the H2 car competition. And additionally, Dr. Alfano has taken time each year since I've been here to work toward the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow event and has helped Belleville High School get thousands of dollars in grant money to help supplement some of the things that we've done here. So, Dr. Alfano, I just want to say thank you for that and congratulations on tonight.
Good evening. I would like to thank the board members and Dr. Tomko for allowing us to honor our students for all of their accomplishments in the last year. The students and I would like to thank the administration, including Mr. Rhodes, Ms. Calhoun, Mr. Blodnick, with a special thanks to Mr. Mara, our athletic director, who allowed our students to interview him over the course of several days. The students and I would like to also thank Jenna Bedaglio, our athletic trainer, for all of her guidance, Mr. Balls for his coaching insight, Mr. Ryan Sheridan, Mr. Woodring, Mr. Longo, the BHS faculty and staff for all they've done for our students. Special thanks to Avenues in Motion and Kristen Tomachak, and our Samsung mentor, Yolanda Vicente, with special thanks to Dr. Thomas Bitaglieri, who really spent a great deal of time letting us pick his brain. We're going to present two sets of awards tonight. The first is for the Hydrogen Car Challenge. This is one of two STEM programs that is offered by Avenues in Motion with the purpose of educating students about the existence of alternative fuels. Hydrogen is a STEM competition for high school students that challenges teams to design, build, and race model-sized hydrogen cars. These cars use Horizon Mini PM reversible hydrogen fuel cells and must travel down a flat track of 33 feet. The cars compete for speed, engineering, craftsmanship, upcycled materials, and a video journal which they detail how they went from a box of stuff to a finished working fuel car. On race day, the students present their creation to a table of judges who are leaders in various STEM fields. This year, the Belleville Rock Car won third place for craftsmanship. It is crafted from a broken and cracked ukulele. The tires are rubber traction tape over tire frames and 3D printed hubcaps. So. So I'd like to thank, not present, but Jamie DeVee, Jonathan Ingalls, and Dahini Abreu. And we'd also like to call down Maya Ranku and Zin to for your plaque and your certificate. She's gonna hold the card. Karen, do you want to turn it on? So the Belleville High School robotics team was named one of 50 state winners in the 13th annual Samsung Solve for Tomorrow competition, receiving a $12,000 prize package in addition to a previous prize package worth over $2,500. Solve for Tomorrow is a national competition that challenges students in grades 6 through 12 to explore how the role of science, technology, engineering, and math can play in solving some of the biggest issues in their local communities. The competition engages students in active hands-on learning that can be applied to real-world problems, making STEM more tangible and showcasing its value beyond the classroom. State winners participating in this year's competition have boldly entered their game-changing ideas to tackle environmental sustainability, school safety, water conservation, health, and more. This year we focused on concussions and concussion detection. There were two main deliverables, an application and a wearable data collection device to assist with the identification of possible brain injuries. Students interviewed neurologists, athletic trainers, and key stakeholders to determine parameters of biomonitoring, biomarkers, physiological, and neurological field testing to be logged and analyzed. The team proposed new methodology using fiber optics to detect biomarkers in sweat and developed an application where data and prediction algorithms, along with better reporting and communication, could be used to assist in the identification of MTBIs in the field where CT scans or other radiography is unavailable. I'd like to call the leads first. Brandon De Los Santos, the audiovisual lead. Zinpan, engineering lead. Carmela Urbano could not be here with us tonight. Yosef Ibrahim, computer science and engineering lead. Victor Pham also couldn't be here with us tonight, but we thank him, he's the computer science lead. And Jason Pavada, engineering lead. Jessica couldn't be with us tonight. Maya Ranku, speaker and presenter. And now our engineers, Matthew De Los Santos. Jelena Santiago. Carol Cueta. Alex Gonzalez. Ethan Nugent. Josh Calilio. Dominic Capoletti. Kevin Chambumi, and Jedediah Monroe. That's Jedediah. Thank you guys and congratulations to our Samsung Sell for Tomorrow state champions.
Thank you very much. Before we go to our last presentation with the sports awards, while I have an active audience or an attentive audience here tonight, I just wanted to let everyone know that the district is moving forward beginning next year, probably at some point in September, October, with the re-registration of the entire district. So parents, spread the word, please. Again, we haven't done this in several years. We're going to try to make it as painless and seamless as possible. We are partnering with the township on this so that we can make sure that we have the correct number of students who live in town who are actively being educated in town. So just wanted to get that out there as we have our last meeting, and we had some confirmation that we're going to be moving forward on this. And then I do have a pretty attentive audience, and maybe it'll get out a little bit. So, without further ado, I call up Mr. Rhodes again, who's there standing up there, and Mr. Mara for the SEC Recognition Sports Super Conference Spring All Conference Award.
Hello, everyone. We had an awesome spring. We had all positive records. Very proud of that. Also, we brought home 2 SEC championships. Awesome. And we also hosted some state home games, so we're progressing and we're going to continue to do so. But these are the student athletes we call up right now are the ones that were the SEC All-Conference Award winners. So we're going to start with girls softball, and I know Coach Canarella cannot be here tonight because his son is graduating, either elementary school or middle school, but he's graduating. So here we go. First team, SEC Colonial Division, we have Deanna McIntosh. First team, SEC Colonial Division, Nina Jamino. Second team, SEC Colonial Division, Diana Estrada. Second team, SEC Colonial Division, Catalina Kukas. Honorable mention, SEC Colonial Division, Ashley Selly. What's more impressive, a lot of these girls I just called up got a lot of academic and other awards as well. So these are the best and the brightest. Great job, girls. Awesome. Who was? I don't have that. No. Sorry, I think there was a mistake, but why don't you come up here? Come on. What's your name? Hey, who is it? What's your name? Come here. What is it? What's your name? Okay. Second team, SEC Colonial Division, Anaya Thompson. Next, we have boys volleyball. Coach Spina, probably one of the best coaches in the Essex County area in the top division, the American division, probably one of the best leagues in the state. First team, SEC, we have John Riz Palmares. No. Second team, American division, Casey Maramat. Second team, SEC American Division, Kevin Fahn. Honorable mention, SEC American Division, Gabriel Campos. And honorable mention, SEC American Division, Brandon Doe. Next, we have tennis, boys tennis, the 2023 Independence Division SEC champions. First team, SEC Independence Division, Dominic Capoletti. First team, SEC Independence Division, Ethan Nguyen. First team, SEC Independence Division, Terry Lee. Second team, SEC Independence Division, Yusuf Ibrahim. Honorable mention, SEC Independence Division, Jacob Rodriguez. Yeah, that's right. I get you. Last but not least, baseball, our 2023 Colonial Division champions. First team, oh, where's Coach Source? I'm sorry, buddy. First team, SEC Colonial Division champion, oh, I'm sorry, Colonial Division, Sean Walsh. First team, SEC Colonial Division, Aiden Carrero. First team, SEC Colonial Division, Crismel DeLeon. Second team, SEC Colonial Division, Josh Abramson. Second team, SEC Colonial Division, Jacob Aricio. Second team, SEC Colonial Division, Jordan Rosario. Oh, man. Honorable mention, SEC Colonial Division, James Monroy. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all our students receiving awards tonight. I also want to take a moment and recognize our students of the month throughout our district. This goes out of every school in our district, and the students that receive are their accolades for Student of the Month. Just give a few minutes for anyone who's leaving to be able to do so.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah. All right. As everybody's walking out, again, we just want to thank everybody, congratulate everyone on all the awards. On behalf of the Athletics Committee, thank you all so much and congratulations. Thank you all so much.
The parking garage is going up. This is now the 8th contract in the last year and a half you've given to Environmental Logic. It seems like a heck of a lot of work. This is upwards of $100,000 now to do all sorts of testing, drilling, etc. If what you're planning to put up is a parking garage. So I'd like to know, has something changed? Are you going to do something other than a parking garage on this site? Another agenda item that I'd like to have an answer to, 12.86. This is a rather trivial matter. It's just $10,000 to do fire equipment, fire extinguisher inspection
But here's another example. Can't we do this in-house? Why do we have to have an outside firm for $10,000 to inspect our fire extinguishers? We've got, what, over 500 people now in the payroll here. We've got an extensive building and grounds department. Can't we do this inside and save taxpayers $10,000? I have only 14 seconds left here, so I guess I will defer my other questions to later in the evening, but I would appreciate it if I could get some answers to the questions I just raised. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheldon. Yes, please.
Thank you for your questions, Mr. Sheldon. I can answer what I can. I think, I don't really know what's going to happen with the property on Union Avenue. All I know is that we are not there. We'll just leave it at that. The second question I think you asked was regarding, the testing that was happening. Oh, first let's talk about the testing that was happening in Aero at that Union Avenue area. That was testing that was done in the past for a flood. So that was some air quality testing that we had to do. But moving forward, the environmental logics testing was something that was, we had that's an environmental site, DEP site. When you're building on that, obviously it has to be remediated. There are wells on that site. So this is something that the board has been aware of since we first purchased the property, and moving forward, I think almost any property you're building on in a township like Belleville is going to have some of this environmental inspections, et cetera. I think over the next 5 years, maybe 5 years or so. So we know there's a cost that was involved in that to make sure that the place is environmentally sound. And that's going to be ongoing testing there. As far as the plans for the middle school, I mean, I don't think much has changed from the original idea with regard to the parking deck that then turns into the new parking area, which means that the old parking area turns into the middle of the campus, which includes, sort of a promenade area or an atrium area. There's a bridge that connects both buildings with an overpass. There's now, because of the grade variations there, there'll be a tunnel underneath so that the teachers can park on one level, and then we'll have visitors or municipal parking on another level. And then in order to create that promenade area, there will also be on top of the parking deck, we're looking to put a field. So on top of the deck will be a turf field, nothing big like we have at Queerman or down here on the high school facility, but just a field to, hold gym and other events. So that will, obviously any place where there are students or staff members, the DEP is pretty clear on some of the testing that has to occur. So that'll happen there. There's actually 984 individuals on the payroll here. Unfortunately, some of them cannot certify fire extinguishers. It has to be an outside, obviously regulated. We do have individuals here that check to make sure that they're operational, but the certifications for that, for your certificates for your fireproof, curtains, all those things are done by these professionals, so that's a certification. So, thank you.
Mr. Vincent Francintoni.
Good evening, John. Yeah, I want to speak to Resolution 6.1 and 7.1, Oprah request and all that. This is something new you're putting on the agenda, and in my opinion, I think it's an intimidation tactic, trying to keep people quiet. Before Oprah, the citizens were getting information from the Board of Ed, from the town, from the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. No problem. Before that, I've been around a long time, we would just ask public officials or the town hall. We never had a problem getting any information. All of a sudden, now in the Board of Education, now you're trying to intimidate people with these legal costs and all this stuff. A lot of these Oprah requests by citizens wouldn't be necessary. And I'll give you an example tonight. Resolution 13.5, appropriation transfer. These board members are going to vote on this tonight. So I assume they were given the information. I assume they all have these appropriation transfers. That was the pet project of myself and an old contractor, Nan and Melito years ago. The next day we'd go down, find Mr. Appleton, the business administrator, ask him for them. He'd open the file, immediately we'd walk out, thank you very much. And now we have this here. So some of these things should be ready available, are ready available, and now we get to baloney, all this high legal costs, we got money through the attorney. It's just unbelievable what you're doing to the public with this stuff. So I hope we can be more open with the public. You've got over a dozen, Resolution 13.5, you got over a dozen contracts or agreements, but no dollar signs. So that mandates if the public wants it, then we have to open it, or come and request it from you. If you would simply put one of them, and I thank you for saving paper, but your print gets smaller and smaller, you know, I'm going to have to get new glasses to read it. 12.43, with improvement, agreement with Diamond Rock to provide water coolers to various location, no dollar amount. And more than almost half of them, there's no dollar amount. So these are the things you're forcing the public to submit Oprahs if we wanted to know about it. Somebody answer me, but to sum up, this is an intimidation tactic, and you should be embarrassed at what you're doing to the public. So these 12, 13 or more, can we know the dollar amount tonight of them? Thank you.
To the chair. Yes, please.
I don't know all of them you're talking about, but the two that you brought up, Mr. Francantoni, are both on here. Public. There's the amounts for the water and the transfers are all public record. You can just easily get them on here. They've been available since Thursday, I believe, since Friday. So, thank you.
I'd like to get a motion to close public participation.
Motion.
May I get a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Well, we're going to move on to personnel. May I have a motion on 9.1 to 9.88, please? Motion. May I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Paolino, please call the roll.
Trustee Dattis.
Yes.
Trustee Darrow.
Yes.
Trustee Velez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Vice President Benamini.
Yes.
President Munoz.
Yes, with the exception of 937, where I will be abstaining. May I have a motion on curriculum instruction 10.1?
I'll make a motion.
And a second, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Paolino, please call the roll.
Trustee Dattis.
Yes.
Trustee Darrow.
Yes.
Trustee Velez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Vice President Benamini.
Yes.
And President Munoz.
Yes. We're going to move on to board action, board policy. May I have a motion on 11.1 to 11.23?
Motion.
And may I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, that is.
Okay, there's two parts to this. Dr. Tomko, can you please explain the HIB process to everybody? I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes I feel it's very unfair. And I feel the wrong kids are targeted, and it's just bothersome. And two parts. So the first is, can you please explain it so everybody understands? The second is, maybe we could get together collectively, because I know we disagree on a lot. As a board, maybe we could get together and try to petition the state or try to change some of the legislature and the wording in these policies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So yeah, to start with the second part, I think, Ms. Stats, you hit it on the head. It's in the latter part of 2010, Governor Christie basically signed a bill with regard to bullying or harassment, intimidation, and bullying in schools based on reaction to a horrific event that happened in one of the colleges. Since then, the bill has morphed several times, believe it or not, to be less restrictive, where I think in 2010, I think the law was very unfair to individuals who were labeled as bullies. But the process is that the law is very clear on what constitutes a bully. It basically, there has to be identified class, there has to be a certain act that occurs that is considered harassment, intimidation, and bullying, but there are specific parameters that administrators have to follow in order to identify who a bully is or is not. So it's not the traditional sense of the term that you may see in a dictionary or that we grew up with back in the day. It's really based on legislation and a law that was passed again back in 2010. I agree with you, Ms. Status. I don't agree with some of the things in the legislation. I think maybe it is a good idea to sit down and reach out to some of our local statesmen, stateswomen, to see if we can change some of that. The newest change to the law has given principals a little more discretion on what is sent to an HIV specialist or not. Before there was no discretion. Everything had to go to a specialist. So at least there was a step in the right direction. But I think the process that we follow here or throughout the state is very clear in what identifies a bully. And then when parents want to appeal that decision, they come to a board, they ask to appeal it, and regardless of what the board feels may be the right definition or not, the only thing the board is doing to overturn or to basically vet what is happening is, did the administrative team follow the letter of the law? And that's really all it is. So there's really no opinion on what is a bully or what isn't, because it's really defined for us. So again, there's very little leeway in what defines a bully based on this strict definition. And usually the first part of the litmus test is it a protected class? So is it religion, culture, creed? I said religion. Or is it some other protected class? Maybe someone's size, maybe a gender issue, etc. So it is a pretty strict definition. But I do agree that maybe we can sit down and I can talk to the Bush Law Group and maybe we can kind of draft something for you all over the summer.
So Dr. Thomas, just to clarify, essentially what we're voting on today is not so much whether we agree or disagree with the HIV that was presented to us. It's to rule whether it was done properly, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. You're basically, the board is basically voting only to confirm that the administrative team followed the letter of the law, regardless of whether we think personally that the individual was a bully, meant to bully someone, etc. Even if there's no intent, sometimes the act is considered bullying. So.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Valley, please call the roll.
Trustee Dax.
Yes.
Trustee Dara.
Yes.
Trustee Velez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Vice President Benamini.
Yes.
President Munoz.
Yes, thank you. We're going to move on to purchasing and business services. Can I have a motion on 12.1 to 12.89? Motion?
May I have a motion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a couple of things that I wanted to just ask about. I guess I'll ask them and then you can answer them after I'm done, I guess. So I noticed 12.9 and 12.24 talk about DocuSign. I wasn't sure if it was a similar item or two different items. I just need some clarity around that. 12.62, the $50,000 for the music den, is that just the maximum that we can spend? It's not like we have to repair $50,000 worth of instruments going to the new year. I just wanted to make sure that I understand that. Also on 12.65, the school bus paying the lease cost at St. Peter's Church. I'm guessing that's our only option right now. There's no other space in town to do it, that we have to just continue to pay a lease on a monthly basis to there. We have no other options for school buses. I just want to clarify that. And the last thing, I just have a question on RAS Plus 1270, just a little bit of exactly what that is. If you need the other agenda items, then I'll have to read them back to you again, Doc, as well. Thank you.
I consider for 12.65, we're continuing at least. I know we have ideas to move the buses down the line to down in the school number 9 area, but currently that's not ready to move forward yet, so therefore we have to continue. That's the only space that we have currently. Tom, you want to jump in the other ones?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to give me the numbers again. I was not expecting.
I figured. I'm sorry. I threw a lot out there.
No, that's okay.
That's to 12.9 and 12.24. I just want to make sure that they're not the same exact item, that they're two different items, because it is the same vendor. I just want to make sure that it's two different things regarding DocuSign. That was one of them.
Right, that one. Can you give me the other ones again? I have 1265 and 1270. I knew that. Were those the only four you're asking?
Yeah, 12, and the music den, 1262. I was just curious about the 50,000, if that's the max that we're supposed to be committed to spend. It could be less than that, or we're actually going to commit to the $50,000.
Hold on one second.
Alright, so Mr. Darrow, 12.9 and 12.24, Jeff confirmed for me they are accidentally the same thing, so we'll pull the second one.
Thank you.
My apologies on that one. 12.62 for music den, that's just an amount not to exceed. We do have a lot of equipment, musical instruments that go out at the end of each year. Some years more are damaged more than others. In the past that I've been here, the highest that we've ever bid is 50,000. So just to be on the safe side, we do an amount not to exceed that amount. For the most part, we do come underneath that.
Thank you.
And then, what was the
The
last?
1270, just a little bit about what RAS Plus is, just so I understand it.
That's for ELLs at the elementary level.
Yeah, it's a K-5 literacy program that we're using for English language learners.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Is there any other, excuse me, is there any other further discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
I'm looking at 12.67. So my question is, the Summer Bridge Academy is for the children that are lacking in the year academically. It's for them to catch up. So if we're spending that type of money on an assembly for them, why don't we wait, let these kids get the academics that they need, and do this throughout the school year for all the children in the district? 12.
Yeah, 1267 is young audiences. It's some acrobatic cultural group that we in all of our and I'm not disagreeing with the concept that you're getting at with status. Just so you're aware, we in all of our summer programs, even when we were consulting a little bit for the summer camps, we try to include some type of either something that's educationally sound, but also has some kind of activity involved in it as sort of like a reward for the things that are happening in the summer, or a little a little away from the books per se. So this was one of the assemblies that we thought would be really great for the elementary level students. Instead of just every day, Monday through Thursday, kind of just doing math and English, we were trying to just infuse that in there. I don't, for an entire school district to do that in all the schools across the district, I think would be probably a little bit too much past our budget for for something like this that we wouldn't budget for. So this was just something to kind of celebrate what these students were doing extra in the summer, sort of like an assembly. But I understand if the board wants to hold off on it. We were just researching things like this, and it seemed something that was educationally sound and still something of a celebration, so that was it.
Any other discussion? Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, so for 13.16, can...
I'm sorry, which one?
For item 13.
We're at 12. We're still 12.1 to 12.8.9.
Oh, wow, my agenda's all over the place. All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion on items 12.1? Excuse me. On items 12.1 to 12.89? Hearing none, Mr. Carlino, please call the roll.
Trustee Daz.
Yes to all with the exception of 12.6.7.
Trustee Darrow.
Yes.
Trustee Velez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Vice President Benvenini.
Yes.
President Munoz.
Yes. Okay, can I have a motion on finance? Motion on items 13.1 to items 13.20?
Motion.
And may I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion here?
Yes. So for item 13.16, can we elaborate on just how this came to be and really the benefits for the school district and really, ascertaining this opportunity for our community?
To the chair.
Yeah, well, this is part of the Sustainable Jersey for Schools grant. Yeah, so Ms. Bruno has been working very hard on the grants with the rest of our team. This is a great opportunity. I'm not sure we'll get the full $250,000. That would be pretty nice, right, Ms. Palladino? I mean, she's working very hard. We have some really incredible resources on the board as well, sitting up here, that have some experience with Sustainable New Jersey. So obviously, it's important. I know we've been a board that's been talking about energy, green footprint, solar, wind, trees. We've been talking about all these things. So it all incorporates into, even the planning board laying out some nice landscape designs for new properties, et cetera. We're following those recommendations. So this is just the first step in trying to implement some planting and maintenance projects throughout the district, which we're going to most likely do a budget for anyway, but obviously a grant like this would really help us with the opportunity. So fingers crossed, and I think this is obviously a positive step. Sustainable Schools has different levels of not ribbons, but like awards, like bronze, gold, silver. We have schools that are in those categories, and we continue to do that. And move up, hopefully, in those categories. We also had several years ago, there's a green ribbon now, the blue ribbon schools. There are green ribbon schools too, so we were looking at that for School 9 when we were doing the solar projects there. So once those are completed, we'll be looking to get a green ribbon, hopefully, for some recognition. But that's really it. But it is a great opportunity for us here.
Yeah, if I can answer that, I mean, you also have 13.9 here. This $47,391 for the Perkins secondary grant. You have a couple of others, 13.16, the stable, which we just spoke about, 13.17, submission from Dick's Sporting Goods, another grant there, U.S. Department of Agriculture, and submission of Walmart Community Giving Grant. So I just want to highlight these because I know we have we hired on a full-time grant writer. I know Mr. Palladino and Ms. Benamini are very involved with applying for a lot of these grants. So it's great to see these on the agenda. So thank you. Any other discussion?
I have a question on the bills list. This is covered under this one, right?
Yes, that would be 13.1, correct?
Yes, correct. So there are a couple of bills in there I just wanted to get some clarity around. One of them was Hess Solar for a power purchase act for $12,000. I'm just curious about that, what exactly that entails. And the other one was just a little bit of explanation for a company, I guess, Innovative Therapy for $68,000. I just wonder what we're spending $68K on. If you could just clarify those two bills.
So Hess Solar, even though we have solar panels on some of our schools and in some of our parking lots, you still have to pay for the energy that you generate. So that's what that's for. There's always going to be a payment to Hess for that electricity. And then Innovative Therapy is for special ed testing.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Palladino. Appreciate it.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Palladino, please call the roll.
Sure. Trustee Dax.
Yes.
Trustee Darrow.
Yes.
Trustee Velez.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Vice President Benamini.
Yes.
President Williams.
Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that. So we're going to move on to the second portion of public participation, remarks by citizens. May I please have a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Sure. Kind of backwards there, right? So, Mr. Michael Shelton? I'm sorry, let me move a little too quickly tonight. The board president will call the individuals who wish to speak in the order that they appear in the sign-in roster. The individual called to be heard shall proceed with his or her comments as briefly as the subject permits, with a maximum of 5 minutes at the podium. All inquiries must be directed at the board president, Mr. Michael Shelton.
Good evening again, Michael Sheldon. Well, some of my questions from the first session were answered, critical ones were not. So I'm going to ask again. With the board's previous use of 335 Union Avenue, was there a valid certificate of occupancy CFO in place? I'd like an answer, yes or no. And if the Board of Ed now discontinues its use of 335 Union Avenue, can you do that cleanly? Or, because from what I understand, there is no escape clause, there's no severability on your end without incurring a penalty. I think you're contractually bound to honor the rest of that lease agreement for its full 5 years. So I'd like answers to those questions if at all possible. Over a week ago, I sent an email to some of the key administrators, Dr. Tomko included, asking about this matter which Mr. Frantantoni addressed, the fact that you now list OPA requests and costs in our meeting agendas. I asked a very simple question, which I still haven't gotten an answer to. Give me the name or names of any other districts in New Jersey that are doing a similar thing. I've received no response, and I've searched through Essex County and other communities on the other side of the Passaic River. I can't find a single district that is posting Oprah requests, who's asking for them, how much it's costing. As Mr. Frantantoni said tonight, and as Mr. Rodriguez said at the last meeting, this is outright intimidation, because you all know that I am the largest user of Oprah requests, and I do a lot of them for other residents who are afraid to submit Oprah requests themselves because of political retaliation or job retaliation. So I take it upon myself to submit these Oprah requests. And you know that in all likelihood I'll probably run for the Board of Ed again this year, and by having this scarlet letter on every agenda, you're using, again, perhaps Dr. Tomko, as the SEC ruled against you in 2015 when Ms. Shore filed a complaint against you, you're abusing your authority, your resources to try to sway a possible election outcome. But we'll talk more about that in the months to come. But unless you can tell me what other communities are doing the same thing, this is outright intimidation. Earlier tonight, there was a question, I think it was Mr. Darrow, who asked about the ongoing lease for St. Peter's Church to continue parking our buses. Less than a year ago, this board appropriated almost $600,000 to buy 2 properties on Ralph Street, 333, 335. One of those lots was already cleared. There was a small house on the other lot, but you've had a year now, and when this matter came up a year ago, we were told that that was going to be the new parking lot for the district buses. Why is it taking this much time to raise one house and put asphalt over 2 lots? It doesn't make any sense, unless you're now contemplating some other usage for those 2 properties. But a year ago, you told us 333 and 335 Ralph Street would become the new parking lot. Let's see here. Last year in April, the town council raced through the process on your behalf an $11.9 million shared services bond ordinance, which was designed to allow you to purchase the Eastern International College for $5 million. And the balance, the $6.9 million, was ostensibly going to be used to facilitate the construction of the garage. Now, I know that the $5 million, the first part of that bond anticipation note, which the town secured last July, that's been transferred to you for the Eastern International College. My question for you is, the other $6.9 million, have you received that, or is that still resting with the town hall? So of that $11.9 million bond ordinance from last year, have you received all of it or just $5 million at this point? I'd like to answer that question because the town hall has its public hearing for the budget next Tuesday, and I want to address this issue one way or the other. So I'd like an answer from you. Are you still waiting for that $6.9 million? With my 20 seconds left, the next board meeting is at the end of July. You've changed that meeting to July 31st, which, interestingly enough, happens to be the deadline to submit Board of Education nominating petitions if you want to run for the board this fall, this November. Ostensibly 2 seats are up, but some of us know that it may actually be more than that. I can't say anything more about it, but I would encourage everyone in this township who has an interest about our educational system, how our kids are being treated, to consider running for the board. The deadline to submit your petitions, you only need 10 signatures to get on the ballot. The deadline is July 31st, and you have to return those nominating petitions to the Essex County Clerk's Office in Newark.
Thank you, Mr. Sheldon. Dr. Tomko, please, you can answer.
Mr. Darrow, I apologize. We did miss that one about the bus depot. I knew I missed something. I apologize. You did answer that one with the St. Peter's property?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I must have missed that. No, I just basically it all comes together. Well, I shouldn't say definitely, but by the June 31st meeting, the board would be hopefully authorizing a payment for the closing on those properties. There were some issues with the some legal issues with how the house was titled, et cetera. So it took us a very long time to do that, no cost to the board. As soon as we close on that property, that house will be raised, and we will start building a bus depot or an area for busing, so we can then vacate the lot at St. Peter's. Yeah, no, the town is aware of that. The community is aware of that. As for the bond, the town is, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, the town is holding that money, correct? Yep. So the town is holding that money until we need it. So we don't have that money that you were saying, Mr. Sheldon. That's that's correct. No, that's correct. I'm sorry. The remaining 6.9 or whatever is left is, yes. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mario Droz?
Good evening. Mario Droz, 95 Bell Street. Just simple questions, and I'm not going to go through a long dialogue here. I would just like a simple yes or no to my questions, okay? Is it true that you vacated 335 Union Avenue?
We're not going to do...
Just yes or no.
Yeah. You can ask all your questions. This thing's not working.
Because
I'm sorry.
what I'm saying...
I'm going to pause.
Okay, better yet. Are you currently occupying 335 Union Avenue?
So, sorry, I don't know what's going on with this microphone, but you could just ask your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them all at the end.
Wait, you speak to the mic. It's a little fuzzy, your voice.
Please ask all your questions, and then at the end we'll answer all your questions. Thank you.
I can't make you go too...
I'm sorry. Your questions. So during your time, ask your questions,
let me read my question.
and we'll proceed by answering your questions.
I don't want to go through a long dialogue back and forth. Okay. My question is, from what I understand, I don't know if you vacated the property or you were evicted, which is one of the questions I'm asking, okay? And I'm sure that there was a contract prior to the Board of Ed moving offices into there, okay? And who recommended that that property be leased? In other words, who made the initial, who put the original lease together? And who reviewed that contract for the Board of Ed trustees? Okay. Because what I'm alluding to is, did anybody read that contract and say, hey, this is a good idea? Or did somebody fine-tune the contract? Because my question here is, if you're renting a piece of property, you need a certificate of occupancy. And I think that was brought up in the past at this meeting, and this was brought up at Town Hall. My question was how come, if it's true, there was no certificate of occupancy after, I don't know, 2 years or something? If you buy a house, if you rent an apartment, you can't move in till you get a certificate of occupancy. So my question is, how did we get to that point? If it is, I understand the way I think it's supposed to work is our state monitor is supposed to be reviewing all these things, and you have a law firm that's supposed to review this. So I'm just trying to figure out, how did we get there, and whose fault is it? I mean, who dropped the ball and allowed this program to go on with the lease? Now, if you bought a house, the bank will not give you a mortgage if you don't get a certificate of occupancy. I'm in that business, so I know. So my question is, why did it happen? The state monitor is supposed to be looking out for our tax dollars. This is like the third time I'm going to make this comment. This is why the state monitor is wasting our money. This should not have gotten this far. Which brings me to this, what they mentioned before about these Oprahs. I'm looking at the list there. I just accidentally came across it today. I mean, if you're talking about saving money, there's not a lot of money here based on what you're paying the state monitor who's never here. That money could be used to better use, and you have leftover money. So I think it's time for these board members to step up and start petitioning the state that money, I don't agree he should be getting paid for something that he's not here. And I also just a comment on the recycling that you brought up. See all these bottles up here? So you already have 4,000, 5,000 students. Where do those bottles go? Suppose 1,000 kids drink a bottle of water today. Where is that bottle going? Is it being recycled or is it just going out in the trash? Those are my comments, and I hope to get some reasonable answers.
Thank you, Mr. Droz. We have a recycling program here, and we have carding, so, I mean, that's taken care of. We do have to do a better job at it, though, I believe. So we are talking about that over the summer. I think I would do a disservice to this board and the state monitor if I didn't talk about the property a little bit. I know Mr. Bush is probably getting very nervous right now, but I think I have to say something just because of how everyone that's brought it up tonight is kind of couching it in such a way to try to catch somebody, because that's what you're doing, which is fine. I get it. I'm a big boy. I understand. So let's talk about really what happened. But I think the only thing I really can say is that, yes, we are no longer there at this time. So let's leave it at that. So that's the final statement on whether we're occupying it or not. Whether there's legality to that or there's other things that are happening, obviously everyone knows. You could ask it a million times, but we can't talk about it. So that's for I guess that's for a future day, sometime in the future. But let's talk about some of the stuff that you just brought up that I think has to be discussed. Who first released the property? Why did it happen? And the certificate of occupancy that's been brought up about 400 times now over the past year and a half. So let's just make that very clear for the record, so that even though I still think that there will be questions moving forward over the next months. Let's set the record straight on how this actually all happened, just so whether anyone believes it or not, it's still on the record. And I've said this a few times in public. We were having major space issues where there were several. I think there was 11 offices that were taking up classrooms. Our enrollment numbers skyrocketed. We needed to get those offices out of the buildings, and we did that, and we looked at every possible area to rent or to buy or to build at the time for preschool and for office space. The state monitor, Mr. Egan, gave me some parameters to follow, which were near impossible with regard to renting the space to keep it under, I believe at the time it was under $2 a square foot, I believe. Am I right? Which was very difficult. We made some incredible deals with certain venues to lease, and that includes several properties on Union Avenue. At the time, and I think this is really important to talk about both of these entities and how we lease them. At the time, the district was in dire straits, in a major need to basically get these classrooms back. There wasn't a lot of opportunity to rent at a number that was affordable, and also both of those properties, especially the one that you are talking about, Mr. Droz and Mr. Sheldon and Mr. Frantantoni, was right across the street from School 3. Easy access to a security guard, easy access to food service, easy access to a nurse, easy access to a parking lot. One of the main things that we wanted to house there at the time was our community engagement portal and programs, which obviously includes parents, et cetera. We also talked about possibly doing some life skills programs there, and at the same time, you all remember we did purchase some houses for that. So all these things were culminating at the same time, and at the time, we were looking more than 5 years to occupy those properties. So let's just be very clear on that. And I think if the board will just indulge me for a few more minutes, I think the CO is a bigger thing to talk about. although the municipal code is very clear on what a homeowner or a business owner needs to do with regard to a CO, it's extremely clear. As a tenant, a Board of Education has to follow different protocols and does not have to follow those same protocols. At the time, because we are, and those of you who are involved in board buildings and construction, et cetera, also know that the board, when it goes to a planning board, it's a courtesy review, right? There's nothing that a planning board really can do, with all due respect, to stop a project, because a Board of Education as an entity has a whole different set of approvals. So when we leased all of these properties, we do something called a long-range facilities plan that has to be updated. Unfortunately, due to COVID, most of these plans in all 600 districts were either delayed or vacated or whatever it was. And at the time, our certificate of occupancy or certificate of tenancy does not relate to what the board was, we felt was something that the board needed at the time. When we received word from the state, which was almost, I would say almost a year, it was February, I believe, so it was almost a year later, with regard to missing documents, missing other things that we needed with plans, et cetera, which is not uncommon for a long-range facilities plan. And don't forget, we were talking about 7 or 8 properties at the time. We then were advised by council that the statute was very clear that if this property was going to be used for offices, et cetera, did not need a certificate of occupancy. However, how do I sit here supporting a board or responsible to a board and say that no students were ever going to be in those properties? It didn't make any sense. So we filed for certificate of occupancy. So that is what the delay was, or the legality. I think you all are mixing what the board's legal responsibility was and what possibly a homeowner or a business owner or another tenant responsibility was. So this board and the monitor, we absolutely follow the letter of the law. That's why we have the checks and balances through the long-range facilities plan, which then called us to understand what the occupancy was going to be, and our plans were to utilize the space for students, which calls for certificate of tenancy. I could also argue that we didn't need a certificate for the other property on Union Avenue. However, with registration being held there for some point, I wasn't aware if a student was going to be on campus in the office. So to err on the side of caution, that's why we were told, the advice of Bush Law Group legal counsel was to, well, let's get the certificate of occupancy. So that's where we were at. The board did all of its due diligence and to obtain certificates of occupancy in all of the sites from that point forward, and that's where we were at. So I hope that answers some of it. Again, I'm not really sure who is to blame with regard to all of that, but the board does follow, as a district in statute, follows different protocols and procedures and statutes, because we do have a different set of checks and balances for occupancy, et cetera. So that's really our end of it in a nutshell. Again, the board did follow the appropriate protocols. We did apply to the state in a timely fashion. So, there was insurance. We met all the fire code that we needed to meet. All these things were taken care of because we have our own regulations that we need to follow. So I think really that kind of establishes as much as I can right now. Again, just to reiterate one more time that several years ago, these partnerships with both of these properties were very welcome for the simple fact that we needed space. I don't think this board should, and I never will forget, that need. And even though now things may have changed a little bit, we still want to respect those agreements that we made to the full letter of the law. So that's kind of where we're at. So hopefully that answers some of what you asked, and that's really all I have. Thank you.
Miss Genesis Gomez. Señora Gómez, usted necesita a alguien que le pueda translidir. Ok. Ok, Yolanda le va a translidir. Solo le quiero informar un poquito del proceso. So, como a cada persona se da 5 minutos para hablar en el podio. Lo que vamos a hacer es para mantenerle su tiempo. Cuando usted hable, le vamos a calcular su tiempo y cuando Yolanda hable por usted y le vaya a transmitir, nosotros vamos a parar el tiempo para que sí tenga sus 5 minutos completos, ¿ok? All right. So a little bit of what I said to her right now is just, since she needs a translator, we just want to honor her time. So while she's speaking, her timer will be going, and in the time when Yolanda speaks on and translates on her behalf, we're going to go ahead and pause that time to make sure that she gets the full time that she's allotted.
Before you proceed, if I can, so I'm sorry, I want to make sure.
I'm going to choose myself. I'm her advocate. My name is Raquel Soto. I am from Paterson, New Jersey. I am a special needs advocate.
Okay.
So I was in her IEP meeting today.
Understood. Okay, I just want to make sure that you're aware, obviously, this is a legal matter that was discussed today. If you're the advocate, then you know well that this was a subject of mediation today. Is that accurate?
This is the wrong case. This case has not been to mediation. This is not the person. I will never bring a client.
Okay,
When
just want to make
something's
sure.
at mediation, you got the wrong client.
Okay, you got it. No problem.
Excuse me 1 second. You didn't meet with anybody today at all?
We had a regular annual review today. There was no.
There's only
mediation.
annual review? Okay.
Yeah, council would have been in mediation if I was in mediation with the state.
Okay,
is
but
not
this
the
was
case.
this was about a student with an IEP, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but no mediation. We didn't have mediation.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Génesis Gómez y me gustaría exponer brevemente mi caso. Mi hijo recibe educación especial y el día de hoy, como muchos otros, se nos ha negado un servicio necesario como es la transportación.
Pause. So I'm going to pause her time, and then you can translate. Go ahead. No, you could do. If you could speak into the microphone, please. Thank you.
She's here because she's stating that her son was denied something in his IEP, which is transportation.
Mi hijo tiene un impedimento de comunicación, significa un desorden de habla, el cual le impide caminar casi 2 millas solo. ¿Quién se hace responsable en este transcurso de su comunicación y su seguridad? La ley federal que protege a mi hijo dice que el equipo especial se debe reunir y tomar una decisión como equipo y no como persona individual para decidir si mi hijo necesita transportación.
She was talking to me, I apologize.
Okay. Sorry. Dice, mi hijo tiene un impedimento de comunicación. Significa un desorden de habla.
Her son has a communication impairment, and it's speech impediment also.
El cual impide caminar casi 2 millas solo.
Which impedes him from walking 2 miles by himself.
¿Quién se hace responsable en ese transcurso de su comunicación y su seguridad?
Who is in charge of his safety and communicate responsibility for him and on the way from home to school?
La ley federal que protege a mi hijo dice
The federal law states
que el equipo especial se debe reunir y tomar una decisión como equipo y no como persona individual.
the Special Services Department should take a
Okay, so let me jump in. So
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
because the translator
what she
missing things.
Okay.
So if the panel,
Are you going to? Do you want to translate for her?
let me translate.
Okay, because that's better. We don't want to. She's doing her best she possibly can.
And that's why I said I'm going to
Okay.
jump in because I want to make sure that this board, and that's why it's recorded, because I want everyone to make sure that while mom is communicating, it's being addressed with the board. So Basically, the federal law states that an IEP team must have a meeting to see if this child needs a transportation based on the IEP, correct? Not just an individual person, not just a director of special education, and not just a case manager. That's why it's called a team. We all sit and we decide if this is a necessity for the child. And we did have a meeting today, and there was only 2 parties speaking on behalf instead of the team. So, pero you're gonna have to go slow. No, yo lo voy a hacer.
Y deben de tomar una decisión como equipo y no como persona individual para decidir si mi hijo necesita transportación.
So what I just said, that it should be done based on a meeting decision, on a team decision, I apologize, not on each individual person, to see if he does need that transportation.
La sección 6A 27 5.1,
Section
6A 27.5.1, no especifica que mi hijo necesita un diagnóstico específico de incapacidad para transportación, como dice el señor Klein.
So based on the state section, it doesn't state that you need a specific diagnosis. You do need an IEP and you do need a diagnosis, but it doesn't specify if it's somebody in a wheelchair, somebody that, you know, is blind. It does not specify that. It just says if you have special needs services and the team feels that it's necessary, then that's when you get it.
En estos 2 años, mi hijo y yo hemos recibido toda clase de discriminación.
Espérate. In the past 2 years, my son and I have been discriminated.
Racismo y clasismo en el sistema educativo de Belleville, New Jersey.
And I guess labeling and racism in the state of, Belleville, New Jersey.
Se han violado todos los derechos de mi hijo y desde el día 1,
my son's, I guess, rights has been violated since the beginning.
Negándole un IP,
Denying the child special needs services,
el cual el señor Ricardo Acosta, el superintendente, y Mr. Klein,
someone named by Ricardo Acosta and the special education director.
Y Mr. Klein.
Sí, ellos saben quién.
Tenían conocimiento de esto.
That they had the understanding of the child's diagnosis, because as a matter of fact, this child came from Puerto Rico. He was attending a special needs school in Puerto Rico, and we communicated with, as a matter of fact, Ricardo through the phone, because I was the translator, to speak to the principal in Puerto Rico. So there was a foundation that this child, you know, was receiving services in Puerto Rico.
Brevemente os cuento que a mi hijo le han llamado a la policía por decirle chocolatico a un niño de piel oscura.
Briefly, I just want to state that they called the police on my son because he addressed a student, chocolatito was mean chocolate, and he didn't mean it in a bad way.
Sabiendo estos que mi hijo habla español y necesitaba estar en otras clases.
Knowingly that this child should not have been in that class because he only spoke Spanish when he came from Puerto Rico.
El segundo incidente se lo han llevado detenido sin yo estar presente.
Okay. The second incident, he was, they took him, I guess the officers took him to the police station, and he was, and this kid is a child with disability and emotional issues, and he was restrained in the police station.
Sin yo estar presente.
Without the consent of the mother, she's being present.
Por decir la palabra supuestamente plug.
For saying plug, I don't know what that means, but that's what he said, and he was removed by police officers from the school.
¿Qué significado tiene esta palabra en el diccionario?
What is the definition of this word in the dictionary?
Acusación que nunca pudieron comprobar.
Accusation that they could never been proved.
Ya que no existía un testigo que diera veracidad de esto.
Because there was not a witness to testify to what the allegations were that he said.
Al siguiente día enviaron 2 detectives a revisar mi casa.
The next day they sent 2 detectives to her house to search her property.
El sistema educativo de Belleville ha tratado como criminal.
Hold on. The Belleville educational system has treated her son.
el sistema ha tratado como criminal a un niño de 10 años
has treated her son as a criminal. At that time, he was 10 years old.
con un IP
With an IP now.
sin razón, motivo y prueba alguna,
Without probable cause.
afectando de esta forma la salud mental de mi hijo y de mi persona.
Affecting the mental health of her son and herself.
Existe un récord de cada reunión,
There's records and tracks of every IP meeting that we have had.
situación,
Situation.
en emails de todas las personas involucradas en el estado educativo de Belleville.
And actually emails, because we CC Ms. Murray from this Department of the State of New Jersey Department of Education. We have also CC Angela. I'm pretty sure you guys know who she is. So there has been, even Phil Murphy, we have CC'd on our emails.
Les invito a leerlos.
And you guys are welcome to read them if council wants to, have access to them.
Paremos con esta discriminación.
Mom is saying she wants the discrimination to stop.
Los niños merecen seguridad,
Children deserve security,
protección,
protection,
respeto sobre todo
respect, mutual respect
en nuestras escuelas.
in our schools.
El día de hoy estoy solicitando la ayuda
Tonight I'm here to request the assistance of this panel
que mi hijo está necesitando
that my son needs
para su próximo año escolar.
for his upcoming school year.
Y vengo a pedir ayuda al comité del board y al superintendente de este distrito. Muchas gracias. Sería todo.
And I'm here to ask for the assistance and help of the panel committee and the superintendent. Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias, señora Gómez.
Okay.
Gracias, señora Gómez. Ahí yo sé que usted está hablando con Yolanda. Ella se va a comunicar con usted y darle información para poder comunicarse con nosotros directamente. Sí, el señor Richard Tomko.
Okay.
Sí, él dice que él tiene idea de lo que está hablando ya, pero es un caso privado, por esa razón no se puede hablar por micrófono con el público, pero que por favor le mando un email y para hacer una reunión con usted. ¿Sí?
But through the chair, your advocate is aware that there's a process, regardless of your copies. If you're not happy with a policy or a meeting, then the chain is to see the superintendent and request the meeting. Has that been done? Has that been done? I'm sorry. Right, no, but what I'm saying is you're here now representing her, so has that been done from what today? You were upset today about something. That's what we started with transportation, and there's a lot of different things that are happening. So I think as an advocate, you're aware that what should happen now is Ms. Luna's behind you, we should establish a meeting where we can sit down and talk as a superintendent, because you have about 6 or 7 different issues that you've talked about that I've never had a direct conversation about. And some of those are, I guess I appreciate that something was said about her child here in public, but I think this is something that we could talk about. It's really not, though, but I know it is. No, that is her right. But again, as an advocate, there's a chain of, there's an organizational chain that I have no problem sitting down and meeting with her and trying to figure out some of those. So that's it. I don't
Okay,
remember a phone call.
let me just jump in for a second, if I can, Dr. Tomko. But there's, okay.
I'm not talking.
Okay, we're not talking about, hold on a second, let's just time out for a second. Okay. Mom has some concerns. We heard that tonight. But there's a, and you know, as an advocate, may I forget your name, I'm sorry. Raquel well knows that there is a procedure that when a parent is concerned about, and I'm sorry, this microphone sounds loud because when there is a concern with respect to your child, the answer is not, she has a right to do it, but to get the right results, meeting with the administration is the best way to get that done. The board ultimately will then turn to Dr. Tomko and say, are you meeting with this parent? And that's all that's going to happen, and that's all that could happen anyway, and I know that Yolanda potentially will schedule something, and Dr. Tomko and you will speak. But Raquel, this is public comment. We can't have a back and forth. If we do it with you, we've got to do it with others. After the meeting, Raquel, we'll have a discussion. We'll have a discussion afterward, okay? But you're here, but I hope you stay this thing shouldn't be too much longer. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Vincent Francintoni?
Yes, I'd like to continue with 335 Union Avenue. After Dr. Tomko said no further comment, he then gave a rather lengthy non-answer to a citizen's question and all that. 335 Union Avenue, I think these trustees were duped into voting for it. Again, that little bird that flies around Belleville tells me I had to vacate it because of a alleged conflict of interest, which I think you're going to see a whole lot of other conflicts. This board, you know, citizens come here, and some of us have come here for many years and made complaints, and we're proven correct. This board is hired politically connected people, I believe improperly, buying properties all over town, leasing properties with no public input, padding line items over what they should have been to create a surplus to then buy and lease properties without any citizen input. I mean, look what we're doing all over town. The citizens, you had a $49 million bond ordinance that was put before the public, and the public voted for it, so rightfully so. All these other things you've done the last 4, 5, 6 years, no public input. There was no referendum. There was no public hearing asking the citizens if they want. So this 335 is only the beginning of what's going to fall apart. Now, we've been told, and I hate to keep saying it, I've been over 4 decades, and it was citizens who brought to the public's attention the $4 million deficit. It was citizens, myself and Edith DeFeo, who stopped the demolition of the Clearman Field canopy and stadium, which professional engineers said that was not a viable building. It was beyond its useful life and all that stuff. Well, we saved it, okay? It was citizens who, me alone, hired architects, testified in Board of Ed meetings, the middle school has exceeded its useful life. It must be demolished. Well, we have a lovely middle school. It was architects who told that school and I was on that first citizens committee, and I fought with them, and they thought, well, you don't know anything. You're a contractor, but you don't know. We're the architects. School 4 must come down. It cannot be repaired. Well, School 4 was repaired, thanks to citizens and all. School 1, I saved it for 20 years. One meeting I didn't go to, and they voted to sell it, and that was a major mistake. Beautiful school with all terrazzo floors in there. So what's going on, this school at 335 Union Avenue is only the beginning of what's going to start to fall apart. And I caution you, Board of Education trustees, you got to be careful for what you're doing, because there's some conflicts with a couple of board members on something going on, which I won't go any further on that. And there's a lot of things that, school bus parking. Oh, what are we doing? We were parking them at School 10. You got all that space in there. There was no problem parking them at School 10. One day, I go, and I see him at St. Peter's. I called Dr. Tomko. He answered me right away. So the citizens were complaining, the fumes. I own a house on Dow Street, right a couple of houses from those school buses. My tenants have to ingest those fumes. Those school buses on St. Peter's are much closer to, they're right up against properties, where in School 10, they're way in the back, not next to properties. So now my tenants got to suffer from diesel fumes a couple of 100 feet away where we had School 10. So Board of Education trustees, I'm telling you, you know, citizens have been right for many years, and you've been bypassing citizen input. So I believe, in my opinion, the lawyer and the monitor failed you guys with their opinions. And one more thing, I don't know if you were reading the paper lately, the state is projecting a $2 to $4 billion deficit next year. So be careful, you know, all this gravy train from Trenton, and I didn't want this idiotic plan to give seniors a rebate of half of their property taxes. I'm a senior. I don't want it because that's a fraud. You're going to take it from my children and everybody else. So please, wake up, trustees. You're being duped.
Thank you, Mr. Francensoni.
Just through the chair, just one comment. When these properties are released, there's absolutely no conflict that everyone's talking about. So just to make that very clear. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to close public participation?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to reports by our trustees. Trustee Velez.
Thank you, Mr. President. First off, I want to start with an Operations Committee report. As was spoken about earlier in the meeting, very soon we will be having some really great news and updates to talk about and to bring to the community in regards to the middle school expansion. Further, as was noted earlier in the meeting, we did approve efforts to really try to ascertain further opportunities to receive monies to plant more trees and vegetation across our school district. It's incredibly important that we have, you know, an even greener community, a community that is more sustainable. And this is really something that I think that this board and this community should really pursue further. And I think it's a great thing. I wanted to thank all of the student awardees tonight for their amazing work. Truly, their determination, their drive, and their distinction is something I think we're all proud of. So congratulations to them. And I want to also congratulate a few others, starting off with Dr. Tomko on his recognition tonight. I know he's done an outstanding job, and we are so happy to have him here and to have such a wealth of information and wisdom on the board. So I thank him and I congratulate him. And I also want to congratulate Jody Velez, our first student board representative, on a great run. She had an amazing experience in this board, learning the ins and outs and really being such a student leader. So I'm so proud of her. And I know she's really crafted the role herself alongside the board. And we're really going to see some great things from the position and all those who really inherit it going further. And I just want to finish out here with really congratulating the BHS class of 2023. It's really been an insane ride, to say the least, over the last 4 years. There's really no way of mincing words, you know, a global pandemic, online learning. I mean, this class has seen it all, and I think it's really a testament to their strength. So I want to thank them, their parents, all the staff, everyone who got them through. It was a long journey, but they've gotten here. So I want to congratulate them and really everybody who got them there. So thank you all so much and have a great night.
Trustee Dara.
Okay, first I'd like to just thank everyone for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. Congratulations are in order again to Dr. Tomko on his recognition. Also, we want to honor Jody Velez for her dedication to these meetings and to the board and being involved. It's great to see students getting involved and keep them getting involved even when you go off to college. Keep staying involved, Jody. And to all of our other students recognized for their various achievements. Can you believe this is the last month of the 2022 and 2023 school year? Even though this is only my 6th month as a board member, I have learned so much already from the leaders in this district, our citizens, superintendent, business administrator, as well as from my fellow board members as well. Thank you. I've also seen recently firsthand some of the field days we had out there, a lot in Clearman Field and other areas where our parent organizations have put together with the school district. It was great. I'm glad that our students were able to partake as part of these celebrations again after so many years of not being able to get together in one area due to COVID and the restrictions. It's great to see everybody coming together and having a great celebration time. Coming this week, we will have commencement exercises for both the middle school, I believe, and the high school. I'm honored to be part of both of them as you move up to another grade or out to your next adventure, being it higher education, trade school, workforce, whatever your future plans may be. We as this board up here are extremely, extremely proud of every one of you and all the work that you've done all these years. Other things that I'm involved with, I have involvement with the Belleville Public Library. I would just like to make the students in the community aware of many programs happening throughout the summer to continue some of the momentum for the year. It doesn't have to end just because the school year ends. We have a bunch of stuff coming up there. Check the library website. We have baking classes, Christmas in July, Rob the Guitar Guy, 3D printing workshop on Mondays, Steampunk Engineer, Chess Kings, lots of stuff going on. Check the website. If you're a student, you want something to do over the summer before you start your college or whatever your future goal is going to be. Check the website for times, dates, and registrations. Thank you all, and have a great summer.
Trustee Dadas.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations on all the awards given out tonight. I hope everyone had a great Father's Day. I just want to take a quick minute to acknowledge an event I was able to participate in. The Life Skills program hosted a barbecue that we as trustees were invited to. I was able to tour the 2 houses on Greylock Parkway. What a great opportunity that is presented to these kids. To see how they have grown through this program that we offer them is really remarkable. They were so excited to show us around and talk to us. The teachers, the administrators, the paras, the aides, everyone involved, please be so proud of what you have there. The parents and the children, you should also be very proud. Well done, everyone. It's the last week of school. I can't believe it's here already. Congratulations to everyone moving up. Big congratulations to the seniors. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. We're finally at the close of our school year. Thank you to all of our staff and scholars for your diligence throughout this academic year. I had the pleasure of attending our senior varsity dinner. Congratulations to all of our senior athletes. Job well done. I also enjoyed attending our scholarship night here at the high school. So many graduating seniors received multiple scholarships, including our very own student board representative, Ms. Jody Velez. Congratulations to our graduating seniors and every student who received an award tonight. And again, congratulations, Dr. Tomko, and thank you for all you do for our district. Lastly, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Juneteenth, which the district observed this past Friday. On this day, 158 years ago, hundreds of thousands of enslaved people learned they were free. May we always be inspired by their courage and determination to create a more just and an equitable society. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Ms. Jody Velez.
Good evening, everyone. June 19, 1865 marked the day that enslaved people in Galveston, Texas had been freed. This was after the end of the Civil War and 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth celebrates the achievements of Black Americans. It offers an opportunity to educate and raise awareness about the history of slavery and the struggles endured by African Americans and the ongoing fight against systematic racism. This day empowers individuals to advocate for equality and work towards creating a more just society. We know that slavery is an inhumane and callous act, so we should never discontinue the education that informs us about the segregation and discrimination that shifted. So throughout the course of being Belleville's first student board representative, it has allowed me to perceive new things and view what could be improved in our district. And while we have improved in certain areas from the previous years, we still have a long way to go and we need to do better. Whether a student has been in the Belleville School District for 12 years or 1, everyone deserves to feel heard. In addition, we would like to have more AP classes at the high school that are not STEM related, such as AP Geography, AP Psychology, AP Seminar, World History, etc. There are students that I have met who didn't get to take as many AP classes because we didn't have them. Some people don't want to, in the future do something like STEM related. Like personally, I would love to take in more AP classes, but AP classes also enhance the students' current knowledge, and having more of that will allow students to get additional college credit. Moreover, some things that perhaps we can focus on in the future are additional colleges to come visit our school, including private colleges inside and outside of New Jersey. I think this would also help students, research other places that may have different programs or something that specializes to a specific major. Second, allowing freshmen and sophomores to go to the media center to visit college presentations and not just limit them to the upperclassmen. Students I have met from outside of school and other places began their college or postgraduate search journey during this time, as they were able to thoroughly research from freshman year, sophomore year, junior year to now. Again, also collaborating with the Belleville Public Library for volunteering events or students setting up their own clubs. I have a friend who made a club at the library, and they were able to gather students from even the middle school to have like a safe space or somewhere to hang out after school and learn from these things. The staff at the library is always willing to provide the students in the district with materials and more. Fourth thing was maybe coordinating with the lunch program to offer more vegetarian and vegan options. Some students don't eat certain foods due to religious reasons or dietary and health issues. And lastly, to increase diversity within the staff. Since the diversity of the student population is increasing, we do have an influx of students who are coming from other countries, who are coming from other places. For example, also trying to allocate more resources to students or even families in our district that are coming to Belleville and choosing to live in Belleville, because some students are also not proficient in English. And I also noticed that it's a little difficult for them to keep up with their other peers in the classes that we have, especially classes that we need to graduate, like English, financial literacy, and other courses. Lastly, I am proud of the ambition and the drive that surrounds the graduating class of 2023, as we will soon embark on a new journey after June 23rd. But at this time, I would like to pass the microphone to our upcoming student board representative for the 2023 and 2024 school year.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rayanne Chakali. I am a junior here at Belleville High School, and I'm the next board representative for the 2023 to 2024 school year. I would like to thank Jody for everything she has given me, all like the information she's given me and setting such a good example. I'm really looking forward to working along with all the board members and learning from this incredible opportunity.
Thank you. Ooh, that was loud. Vice President Benamini.
Thank you. Ahead of the commencement ceremony this Friday, congratulations to the class of 2023. Good wishes for a future filled with happiness and dreams come true. I'd like to thank all of the school staff for all of your support for the 2022-2023 school year and wish everyone a great summer. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a few updates, or well, a few commentaries of the weekend. First, I want to thank the Pless family, specifically Jonathan Pless. He was a great host this weekend. He had a terrific Juneteenth event, block party in his right here in Celia Terrace, which he graciously invited us, and we were able to break bread and just enjoy some time with him. It was an amazing experience. I was able to go ahead and speak with all the neighbors, which kind of brings me to my point. It's hard for the public, if you're just listening to our meetings here on YouTube, or if you're just listening to commentaries on social media and some of the Facebook platforms, it's very difficult for you to get a full view of that public opinion. So one of the statements that was made tonight is that we don't get any public input, and that we don't know what the public wants, almost insinuating like we're disconnected. And that could be no further from the truth, because I'm a witness to every single trustee here, and I'm a witness to so many events that we participate in. We're in the public. We're not just on these tables. We're not on the asadayas having conversations here, almost like we're ruling over everyone and then just walking away. We're in the public with you. We have an event, we're there with you. We're walking the streets, we're going to the same stores, we're going to the same restaurants, we're having the same conversations, we're walking your blocks. We get invited to your own private events, which we attend. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience that I had. And I shared actually an email earlier with my board members, some of the messages and some of the feedback that I got, so we could all make sure that we know. So it's very hard for you to get a clear picture as to what motivates us here outside of our children is when we're out in these events, how the public gives us feedback, both good and bad, and we receive it all equally. But for the most part, everyone is very excited and very motivated. They have a very hopeful way of expressing how they feel. I met some families that literally moved here just because they're starting their families, and they had a pre-K program that came here to professionals, and they know it's a $2,000 plus expense easily for them to put their children in pre-K, and they had 2 children, so that's $4,000 plus that they had to pay a month, and they felt like their children were not going to get the same education as our Belleville students would here in our HEC building. So I want to congratulate everyone who has a big role to do with our HEC building, because I received amazing feedback on that as well. And I just want to really just say this to the community, because again, we're not just up here having conversations. We're out there with you, and we're listening to you. And I know for a fact, every single person up here, if you approach us in public, whether you have something good to say or whether you have negative feedback, a bad experience that you may have had, we're going to sit here, we're going to listen to you, and we're going to bring that back, which I know I did over this weekend, I know I did today, and I shared with everyone, both the positive and the negative. I want to congratulate our students, every single person that was recognized today. Dr. Tomko, you as well. I know you don't like the spotlight, but it's something that is very well deserved, and it's something that has to be done. Matt, terrific job, Ms. Kelleher, and the rest of the administrators. Very, very good job. You pulled it off. With that said, I want to wish everyone a very good week this week. We have our graduations on Friday. I'm looking forward to that. My son is actually one of the students graduating, so I'm going to do my best to get through that speech without losing it a little bit, but it'll be exciting. I thank all my teachers here You're all wonderful. My son graduates this year, and you got him through. You know, we've been a Belleville family. My son did pre-K here, all the way to now graduating. So I thank you, each and every single one of you, for all the efforts that you put forward to get my son to a point where the other day he stops me and says, "I can't believe I'm about to graduate. Now I actually have to be an adult." So he's like, "Who do I turn to now for help?" But I know you've all done a great job at preparing him, so thank you. With that, I want to close the night. May I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.